During a sale, the price of a blouse was reduced by 15%. It sold for $17. What is the usual price? Okay. So, again, we're talking about reduced percentages and more percentages and all of that kind of stuff. You need to be very careful with this. A lot of people would do this. They would write 15% is $17. That's not true. They only wrote that because those were the two numbers that were given to them. They were said it was reduced by 15%, it sold for $17. No, actually, $17 isn't 15% of the blouse. $17 is actually 85% of the blouse. Now, where did I get 85? It didn't say that anywhere in the problem. Well, it's because we reduced the price by 15%. So it was 100% before, and we reduced it by 15%, and that gives me 85. So that's the first trick that you have to really think about. And then the rest of it is just the standard unitary method for solving math problems. So 15%, 17, let's see. Let's do this. Divide this by 85. Divide that by 85. Okay. 17 divided by 85. Alright, how many times can this go into that? None times. Put an extra 0. How many times can 85 go into 170? 2 times. Yeah, and that's perfect. Okay. So 1%, which is 17 over 85, is equal to 0.2. So 100% is basically taking this 1% and moving the decimal place 2 times to the right. I do the same thing to the other side, and I get 20. So this blouse was $20. Does that make sense? And if you take off 15%, then you'll pay $17. Okay. All right. The number of books in Raman's library, yeah, literally it says Raman's library, is increased by 20% to $180, or 180 books. Find the number of books before the increase. Okay. So most people will write down 20%, gives you 180, but that's not true. It's a 20% increase, which means it's 20% more than 100. The previous problem was 15% less than 100. This one's 20% more than 100. So you're talking about 120% is $180. All right, now the rest of it's pretty straightforward. Divide both sides by 120. I definitely knocked off some zeros. 1% is equal to 18 over 12. I feel like I can reduce that. I'm going to do 9 over 6. Actually, I can do even better. Can't I? I can do 18 over 12, because those zeros got killed. I can reduce that to 3 over 2. Awesome. I know how to do 3 over 2 really easy. How many times does 2 go into 3? Well, at least one time. And I put a 2 here. This is a 1. I put an extra decimal place there. How many times can 2 go into 10? At least, well, 5 times. 1.5. So 1% is actually 1.5. So how much is 100%? 150. So this number should be smaller than 180 because he started with 150 books. Somebody gave him extra books, so his books increased by 20%. And he now has 180 books, which is bigger than 150, which is a good thing. And I'm supposed to do page 64. All right, let's do these two problems. Kelly's monthly salary increased by 10%. The increase is 120. Find her monthly salary after the increase. Okay. So now this is a little bit, let's see. How should we do this? All right. So this was her salary before. This is her salary after. I know that it went up by $120. And I know that the amount it increased was, this was originally 100%. And now this whole line right here is 110%. So I guess the thing is, this little bit right here is 10%, and that's equal to 120. So I know a relation there. Now I just go through my simple math. Divide that by 10, divide that by 10. 1% is equal to 12. So 100% is equal to 1200. Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So her salary used to be, or no, her salary actually, what I need to do is, the question is asking, what is her salary after the increase? This is 100%. This is this much. So she was making $1,200 before, and she had a 10% increase by $120. And how much money is she making now? Oh, well, before I thought it was $1,200, but that's actually the before answer. What I need to do is, her actual salary is $1,320, because that's the before, that's the 100% plus the extra $120 she's making now because she got a raise. We cool with that? Make sure you think about that one. All right, last one. If a salesman sells a watch for 80% of the cost price, the watch will be $600. What must he sell the what must he sell the watch for if he wants to make $150? Okay. This one could be a little bit confusing with all the words and stuff, so quite often the best thing to do is just draw a picture. All right, let's try this. I know that I know a relation. I know the relation is 80% is equal to $600. So this is $600. This is how much he should sell the price. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, let's see. So 80% is $600. How much did it actually cost? Man, that's an expensive watch. All right, so divide this by 80. And I basically say Um, this is 1% on the left side. On the right side, I can cancel at least 1 0. How many times does 60 go, or 8 go into 60? Okay, fine. That's 8, 16. I know it goes to 40. I'm not very good with my 8s. Hold on. 56 is 7. So let's see. 60 divided by 8. It's 7 times for sure. And then that's 56. Then there's another 4 here. And then I'll put a decimal, add an extra 0, 0, 5. So 1% is 7.5. So 100% is $750. So if he paid $750 for this watch, then how much would he have to sell it if he wanted to make an extra $150? Well, you would just add $150 to this. This is 0, 0, 1, 9. $900. I would not buy a watch from this person. But it's a $900 or it's a $750 watch. And if this person wants to make $150 more, then they would need to sell it for $900 because they paid $750. I hope that makes sense.